Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are you guys doing today? Papa Snow here, coming to you live out of Guyana. And with me today, of course, it's the Papa of the Papa, right? George of Guyana, right? Mr. George Correia here. For those of you who don't know, Mr. George Correia has been a political commentator on Guyanese and social issues around the world for about the last 40 years, okay? A lot of knowledge here, a lot of old school tactics at the same time. We don't always mesh, but I always think it is good to have a variety of different opinions, right? Never mind, as my father, we have some really strong differences when it comes to how to deal with things. So it's going to be a real interesting episode to some degree. We're both men. I think this is a very adequate topic for us to have a discussion on. Today we're sending out a message to all men. Remember, guys, we do have our men's movement going on right now. When I say a men's movement, I don't mean just because genetically you were born a male, you are considered a man. That has nothing to do with this stuff. I know a lot of women that fill the positions of men on a regular day because most men have been avoiding their responsibilities or, running away from family accountability. Okay, so this is a big thing. So I'm very happy to be here with my father to discuss this because, I like to speak based with facts. I like to talk about experience. And from my own personal experience, I can tell you, my father went through a divorce, when I was young. Nasty divorce, right? A lot of confusion, a lot of headaches, a lot of everything going on. But one thing that I could say, despite whatever went on, this man never abandoned his children. He stand there, he fight. You see how stressed out he looked? He could have been looking a lot better. But he didn't abandon us for convenience. Even when we argue, we fight. My father never abandoned me. He never turned his back on me. Right? So I think it's adequate to have my father here when we're sending this message out, especially since I'm really trying to reach a lot of younger men so that they do not go out there and make a set of picnic or start getting involved with people, and when they don't know what it is they want for their life, they start lying to young women, got people all over the place. People starting to try to build a future when they're not even 100% in the game. For those of you who have been in relationships before with people who are not 100% in the game psychologically when it comes to being a husband, being a parent, or even, if you're a man and you have a wife, and your wife came in the game and she still thinks that, being a wife is just about being pretty, and she don't understand that they have a role, they have a leadership role in the household to play, and they must lead by example at the same time, So we need to address these issues where, especially us as young adults, need to take our time and make responsible decisions that can help to avoid unnecessary circumstances that are happening not just in our country but around the world. Okay, this is essential. If you look at the way our society is, if you look at the violence that we have in society, if you look at the crime that we have in society, if you look at all of the misuse and mistreatment that we have in society, all of those things stem naturally from broken homes. It stems from a broken thought pattern, not making good decisions, and a lot of that has to do with parenting. And also children looking for excuses to be kind of wayward. So we're going to talk a little bit about those things here today. We're also going to be touching base on an issue that happened this morning. If you look at the post before this one, you would notice that we had uploaded a post where a bus driver has put a woman out of a vehicle, put her out of the bus in the middle of the rain. And there was something that I found very odd about what the bus driver said when he was putting the woman out. He said that she wanted to argue in his bus, so she put him out. However, in the video, ladies and gentlemen, you can clearly see that there was another woman who was very aggressive and loud and obnoxious at the same time, and arguing and cussing up and behaving one way. But excuse the way I say it, I'm curious to know why the black bus driver put out the Indian woman for arguing but did not put out the black woman for arguing in the same bus. So I am hoping that that post could reach the bus driver, and the bus driver can explain to the public, why would you put out one customer for arguing but not put out the next customer for arguing? It comes across very, very one-sided. Things like that need to be addressed, right? And I think it's a serious thing. I think the government should investigate the matter, because as a bus driver, the bus driver is a public servant, and there's a responsibility with being a public servant driving public transportation. And that responsibility is simple. You must be a fair person. If you're going to put out somebody for arguing, you got to put out everybody for arguing. You can't just put out one, because it's going to look really, really messed up. Also, the fact that the person that you put out is a senior citizen, right? Or, on their way to becoming an elderly here in this country. And you put that person out in the rain, right? In the pouring rain, you put that person out. You did not look for a place where the person can be in some shelter. I did not see, at least from the video, I did not see any attempt from the bus driver to even calm both passengers down. All I saw was the bus driver looking like he was taking sides. Now, there's always two sides to a story. So I'm hoping that when the bus driver sees that video, the bus driver could maybe give us a call, come on the show, explain under what circumstances do you pull out a customer from your bus. And also, I would like him to go over some of the laws as it pertains to public transportation that he actually had to follow in order to get his license to drive a minibus. Because I can definitely tell you that biasness is not in those laws. You must be completely non-biased when you are working in the public service industry, especially public transportation. If that man would have put that woman out into a dangerous area, and that woman would have gotten robbed or killed, that man would have been partially accountable for that. So these are things that persons need to address. Now, Mr. Correia, please introduce yourself, by the way. Say your greetings.
Good morning to everybody, fellow Guyanese. I am very much annoyed for what I have seen on that video that Mr. Snow talked about. Well, now I'm with you, and I must be honest. I am not here against government or opposition. I am here to tell you the fault lies with the people themselves. And I think Guyana should move forward and leave the racial tension behind and unite and put this country forward. Now, that is the area I would blame the politician for dividing the people.
Okay, wait, hold on. Do me a favor. Just switch seats real fast. Just switch seats real fast. Yeah. Sorry. It's very hard for me to sit there and know I sitting in a comfortable seat. And my father sitting in the hard chair.
That's okay.
No, I know, but still, my father.
I would blame the government and the opposition because the fault lies with racial politics. Even in Brooklyn, a pastor in Brooklyn denied the Prime Minister, Mr. Philip, the entry in the house of God to speak, all because he happens to be with the PPP as a Prime Minister. That pastor taking side. And I think that church should have closed down. But that's the people's decision, not mine. And that pastor should have lost his license. Because the word of God or whatever have nothing to do with Mr. Philip or Mr. Joseph Harmon or whoever. But it springs from something. The Black Lives Matters with the organization in Brooklyn, when they claim the PPP is a racial party. I asked many questions if they could define racism for me, and then they were saying in their rally, death and whatever, they know where the PPP supporter live, and slaughtering and all things. If you look at the video, I got it.
And this is all happening by a church?
not too far.
Not too
Because
far
a
from the
big
church.
demonstration with an activist who I don't even want to call the man name. But I see he's fighting for a position in the PNC. Well, fellow Guyanese,
I feel like burping.
well, it's Mr. Burke. If you want to
I
be
said
fair,
burp. I
it's
said
Mr.
burp.
Burke.
I said burp.
Anyhow.
I didn't say no other name. I said I feel like
If
burping.
you want a
I said
man
yes.
who is calling the PPP racist and forgot that the PNC is loaded with 98% racist, something wrong here. I'm a mixed race. I got all the race in me. Guyanese, wake up.
You can sit back a little
The
bit.
younger generation are suffering because of your ignorance. Whether you are a PPP supporter or a PNC supporter or APNU, I want to say one thing. PNC have changed its name so many times. You have PNC, then you have PNC Reform, which I make joke and call it Reform. Then you have APNU, and now I don't know what next you will have soon.
Okay. Now, can you
But
get
what
back
I
to the
see
boss?
this
Yeah.
morning in the bus, Mr. Snow says a story have two sides. No, Mr. Snow, it has three sides. The side you're looking on, the side the other people looking on, and the side that it is rolling on that expose both sides. As a owner of a bus or a bus driver, if a passenger enter your bus, they came to go where they want to go and you accept them. If there's an argument in your bus, you pull in the corner and you ask both to keep quiet. And if anyone don't listen, then you have a right to ask them to leave your bus, because if they start to fight in your bus, they put the other passenger in trouble. What that video clearly shows is that when you do wrong things, you are right. And that is what causing the problem in this country. You cannot be aggressive against another. And what makes it much better, especially at this time when we are trying to heal the wound, it happened to be black versus Indian or another race. If the other race refused to travel with that bus for what they see, that brother might be begging his bread. My friend, I want you to come to Mr. Snow program or anyone to expose your part, because we have it. Confrontation will always happen. If you go to separate two dog fighting, you got to separate both. But you can't keep one in the kennel and throw one in the fire. You are wrong. I call on the government to investigate that matter, and that bus driver should lose his license immediately for driving people around.
Okay.
I can't trust him.
Okay, may I say something?
Yes.
I think I found your color. Red looks really good on you.
It doesn't matter.
No, I'm just telling you, red.
All right, thank you.
Red looks really good on him, doesn't
But-
it? I mean, just seriously, look, he's a red man. He's a handsome man,
no, I'm not
and red
trying to
look good
lie.
on you, right? I'm sorry.
So,
Listen, okay. So one
ladies
thing,
and
let's stop.
gentlemen.
Hold on. One thing you got to know about this show: we talk a lot of truth, but at the same time, we just try to be a little jovial about it too, right?
Yeah, but when you get
Right?
it,
Politicians killing all of us, ha ha ha, because we've allowed it, right? So do me a favor.
You know, Mr.
So,
Snow-
no, but can you acknowledge that you look good in red?
well, my mother would decide that when she returns.
Yeah, good.
I'm not here but look.
Okay, good. So,
I
in your-
think
in
it
your
was
opinion-
wrong.
Yeah, go ahead.
I would still give the bus driver the opportunity to go on any program to explain why he do it. Because if he want to be the peacemaker, he should have asked right. Pull in the corner, ask both to stop the nonsense, or ask both to leave your bus. Because if they start to fight, he will be liable. And that is what he don't understand. But what I see clearly there, I could only imagine what happened when you do not see these things with the individual. I'm not blaming the brother to be a racist. Maybe the woman that he put out is just an ordinary bystander or a passenger, while the other one in his vehicle might be his family. But if you want to solve the public, it have no friends and family. Okay? I don't think that members in the PPP, ministers, and government don't do the same. These two nations have to come together, because already one have emancipation, which is the great grandparents, they dead and gone, may God rest in them. You born here, accept your rights. One have day of arrival but no day of departure. And I know those people dead and gone. May they rest in peace. Brothers and sisters, Indian and black alike, be united for a fruitful Guyana and a better Guyana. Because this nonsense have to stop. this brings me back to a story, you know. David Granger was president when China had given to this country a lot of motorcycle and vehicle. And I think it was Border Market, where a Chinese woman pulled up a minibus and parked, maybe to buy her things to open a restaurant and do whatever. A police officer was telling her to move. And in the midst of that, a few African descendants, I won't say Negroes, I won't say black, African descendants who born in Guyana approached the Chinese woman, and this was the slogan: "This is not China. Go back to China." Well, my brother, if that is what you all are thinking, it's an Amerindian country. Be careful what you're asking for. Idi Amin drove the Indians out. South Africa chasing the white man out. Mugabe drove the European as white man out. Don't make that crucial mistake in this country. Let's be united, save Guyana, put this country forward, hold our politicians accountable for crime that was committed against us if they do it, if they commit a crime. If they are doing good, don't criticize them. I heard the PPP, they're thieving. And I got a message for all of you. Burnham thief too. The Ebony magazine claimed he was the second richest black man in the entire world in 1977-78. Find out before. When you pointed, they're all
Mr. Jungle.
have their hands in something
Mr.
that you and I
Jungle.
don't know.
Mr.
Corruption is too much.
Mr. Jungle, let's thank you very much. I think you made a very valid point there. In fact, I think you hit the point right at home.
I have black family. I got black in me.
Well, we got black
I got
family.
Indian in me.
We got a little bit of everything. We can't kick nobody out the bus unless we kicking ourselves.
No, hold on. But this black race got to stop using this. Because when Arthur Chung, our cousin, was president, China gave to this country over 900 million. Ask them what they do with it. Then David Granger become the president. China gave again to them. What did y'all do with the money? Motorcycle, you're costing the people. David Granger should have ordered that woman to be arrested and charged for that humiliating a Chinese when the Chinese money was spending in this country, and that's it. And another thing.
From how many decades?
From the beginning of independence with Arthur Chung.
Oh, okay, good.
One more thing you must understand.
So hold on. So there's a big thing, right? We can't be taking money from overseas people, from China and other countries, and then when the people come here, our people are so ignorant. They want to cost up the people and treat them like
No,
shit.
but hold on, let me finish this.
China, keep your money. America, keep your money. Hold on. Canada, keep your money, because you're only promoting more lawlessness. You're giving to them and they're costing you. The Chinese people come and open up business here. They're little terrorists and little ghetto youth soldiers running around robbing and beating the people. Nobody ain't want to come and invest in your area. When all you can do is seem to promote hate against other races, you need to know what you're doing. Guyana is a country that is for all of us.
Not just a few of us.
All of us.
Let me make this clear. China had given over $900 million during Arthur Chung presidency. Ask Hamilton Green. He may know. Ask Llewellyn John. Ask the historian. And David Hines, my good friend, talk about it. I see a lot of you talking about ancestral land, but yet you're claiming Africa. That is where your land belongs. This is an Amerindian land. You know, one thing with the Indian, they have a day of arrival, but they don't talk about ancestors. They talk about arrival, and they're making their business. They are corrupt, though, don't get me wrong. We have good people amongst both of you. Burnham, the late first Burnham.
Okay.
Wait. While China was helping, and India gave it to Tata Bus, he was helping the ANC of South Africa economically to remove European leadership. Then he support Mugabe. What did Africa give to you? Answer me. They want. I have nothing against my African brothers and sisters. All the black money are in the Swiss bank. Now he's going to Dubai. He's going to Bahrain. He's going to Panama. Think of it, friends. Let's stop this nonsense and unite.
Okay.
Okay?
Right. Thank you very much. Now, that was a lot. That was a lot coming from Mr. Correia based on.
It's a lot. I got the history,
no,
man.
I know. Based on a bus. Imagine if it was a more serious.
No,
thing.
it has to stop.
It has to stop. It does. Listen,
Got to stop.
Listen, I've been affected by racism on public transportation already simply because I'm a red man, right? And I don't really fit in apparently to a lot of people. When I just go and speak, Guyanese, you know, we're still very, very ignorant over here. The first thing, they hear my accent, they're like, "You're a Yankee." And I'm thinking to myself, well, where would you be without white man? I mean, you gotta tell me, because at the end of the day, a lot of the things that we're still utilizing right now came from the Dutch and came from the English.
Not only that.
Even the other day, they're saying, you know, let's go and refurbish Parliament, City Hall, right? Because of the Dutch architecture, right? Now, it's just funny that we pass derogatory remarks to people who are visiting our country or people that sound different. Yet at the same time, a lot of Guyanese want to run over to those people's country for opportunity. We need to be more open-minded. We need to be more respectful to people, and we need to educate ourselves.
Now you're talking. They need education.
So that we are not treating each other with a certain degree of ignorance. But hold on. But in saying that, right, it's going to bring us right back to today's main topic.
No.
We're staying off everything else, Mr. Correia. You got to learn how to flow back on topic. I love you dearly, right? But we still have to do the actual topic without sitting here for 50 hours, you know, debating one fact. So, that being the case, let us go into our main topic, and this topic actually deals a little bit with everything that we're actually talking about. And today, it's a message to men, right? And my message to all men here in this country and abroad, right, all over the world, is stop creating victims, right? And you might ask, what do you mean by creating victims? Well, let me tell you something. There are a lot of men who are getting involved in relationships, starting families, and running away from these families. When you run away from the family, the amount of fatigue and headache that you create sometimes will not be able to be repaired over any short space of time. I have an incident this morning, without calling you, that the school teacher, her husband left her 2 years ago, in 2019. The husband tell the wife, you get the visa, you're going to go overseas, you're going to set up, you're going to do what you can do for your family. The man gone and left your 3 children, left your wife, left everything. Left the woman in debt, left her in devastation. You can clearly look and see that it has broken the woman's psychology. It has broken, you know, and she's lost. Now, if the adult in the relationship, the next responsible adult being the mother, can be destroyed by the actions of the father, because the father, you know, they created these responsibilities together. It was supposed to be a shared responsibility. The woman wasn't expecting she would have to fetch all the way by herself. The man was the breadwinner. The man decided he gonna roll out. He ain't got time with nobody. He got visa, he left country. Right? I am requesting from the government of Guyana and from the government of the United States, Canada, England, and all these other countries, if they are fathers
living in a country
that have escaped or run away from their responsibilities here or in other countries and have left children without a hope in this world, I am asking that once these people are identified, that the proper global authorities revoke their visas, take away their green card. If they became citizens, shut it down, undo it. Let them fight for their children. They need to be there for their children. Ladies and gentlemen, let me explain something to you. I did not like wrongfully being arrested in 2017 and put into Camp Street and the prison system here in Guyana. However, it happened. And when I was in the prison system, I decided to start teaching a lot of young people because I didn't want to waste my time being there, because other than that, jail time is waste time. I didn't want to waste my time. So I took my time and I was doing God's work. And I was reaching out to the people that normally don't get reached out to because they're behind bars. And I don't know about you, but I don't know too many people that want to go and visit somebody in prison, but teach them the word of God or to give them a little education. But believe it or not, that is one of the places, right, that actually needs it the most. Because, you know, a prison system is also supposed to be a system for reform. However, while there, I took an interest in the younger people. A lot of the young men who I noticed that there was a juvenile correction thing connected to the big people prison. And they ended up having 17-year-old, 18-year-old young men around big, you know, 40, 50-year-old convicted murderer outside the state. The real kind of screwed up the way the system is, right? But believe it or not, the bigger men are more scared of the younger ones. Because the younger ones are more violent, more reckless. You know, they live as if they have no future. Because no one has showed them that you could have a future. And one issue that I found synonymous with over 90% of the young men that are currently sitting in prison right now is the absence of a father figure in their life. When men make picnic and abandon your children to society, you are victimizing your children. When you victimize them to that degree, they grow up unbalanced. They grow up without a certain degree of love or guidance. And they become desensitized to crime. And there are people out there who are looking for soldiers. Who are looking for people to do their dirty work. And it is too easy to manipulate a broken child into evil ways. We must be a society that stands up for our children when these fathers abandon their duties. We need to take up a national responsibility or a global responsibility to help prevent issues before they arise. And I can tell you that a lot of issues in Guyana that we are facing in terms of crime are related to the fact that our children are not having a balanced upbringing. It is to the fact that most of the real men in society are not, you know, they're not there, they're not standing up, or they're being quiet in a corner and taking care of them own, and at the same time not realizing that sometimes we must be a father to children that we have not even made in order to protect we own. Because at the end of the day, whether that man child has been abandoned, that man child growing up in the same damn country that your child growing up in, if that man child becomes a criminal, there's a chance that he will do a crime toward one of your children. In this life, ladies and gentlemen, when your neighbor house is on fire, you best help put it out, because that breeze will blow in another direction. Now, in saying that, let me tell a lot of the young people out there, life isn't perfect. Let me also send you, this life is not meant to be a happy life. Maybe some of you think this life is a happy life. This life is a dangerous life. And the faster that you understand the dangers of this life, the easier your life will become, because you will learn how to avoid unnecessary pitfalls. Avoid the pitfalls, right? Our young people are growing up not knowing if they have a future. They are being misled when they fall into things, when they don't have nobody there to guide them, to talk to them. When, think about it, if a kid from what we call a nuclear family, mom, dad, siblings, if a kid from a nuclear family, right, comes home with a problem from school, and mommy can't help him ease it, he has daddy to talk to. At least he got that to support. However, when a kid from a divided family has a problem at school, or somebody bullied him, or he needs something, or she needs something, and she go home, but mommy is alone, nobody embracing mommy, daddy out to the picture, God knows what daddy doing. Probably looking for a new woman to repeat the cycle. Right? Those children come home to emptiness. And that emptiness that they feel there, it becomes a space in their minds and hearts that is normally filled up with something else. Hate, sadness, right? Animosity, feelings of that nobody cares about you. You wonder why suicide high in Guyana? It's because we have failed as parents. We have failed as a society. You want to know why crime is high in Guyana? Because we have failed in our household. We have failed as mother and father. We have failed as husband and wife. We have failed as brother and sister. We have failed and we continue to fail because we refuse to acknowledge the stumbling block. Because we do not want to accept that all of the bad things that are happening to us is somehow related to the bad decisions that we are making. And if we continue to avoid our responsibility, our degree of accountability, then in essence what we do is we write a failing future, not just for us, but for our children. And when you do that, you destroy the future of humanity. So as simple as it looks, it is one of the biggest issues that needs to be addressed. Before we give away money just to get votes, why don't we invest in psychological services, family services, activities for our children, especially our children that don't have that type of guidance? There are some wonderful people in and around this country. There are decent pundits, there are decent majis, there's decent pastors and preachers, there are decent social workers. However, the decent ones don't get the attention. The ones that are affiliated to politics, those are the ones that get the attention. Because they will go into their congregation and they will tell you, we got to support this man. But I want to ask the pastors, the majis and the pundits, when you go and you push a political agenda and you tell your congregation or, your church goers, your temple goers, your masjid goers, and you tell them we need to support this, is there anybody putting the same type of energy into rebuilding the family structure of those who visit your church, who visit your temple, who visit your masjid? And I want to say this because during the last election, I see pastor involved in the electoral process. And the pastor, as much as them pastor them believe in God, they got in there with them because they falling sick right there on national television. Oh God, we got to rush out. Come back. I bet you know, with a couple legal charges initiated against those pastors, I bet you they really fighting God now. I bet you they really praying now. But all of that, it just goes to show that the people that we sometimes think would guide us correctly to help rebuild our family, they have a different agenda. So you need to look for people that are genuine, that are not politically motivated, that are not trying to mislead your children. We need family-based programs in this country. We need family supportive programs in this country. We need to create and to supplement finances to building back the family structure in Guyana. Because if we do not invest in those areas, it doesn't matter how much new bridge we build, how much new road. You're only building it for the next generation of destructive, hateful people to come and destroy it. Because if our families cannot hold one head, if there is not good communication, if there is not if there's not a balance within the family household, you will get chaos in the future. Right? Now, for those of you who've been watching the last couple of days, I can tell you this. You would have probably seen me and my father have a doubt. You would have seen us sit there with a difference of opinion. You would see that we definitely don't agree on everything. We would cuss each other out. We would take each other to the edge of the cliff, hang each other over, let we smell and see the fall. And then by long here, I got pull it back, or by my shirt, he got pull me back, because at the end of the day, it's okay to not agree. It's okay to have differences of opinions. It's okay to argue a point. But it is not okay to allow hate to divide a family, because that family is what God has blessed you with. Who throws away the blessings of God for a temporary reward from mankind but a fool? Men, young men, take heed of this counsel. You've got two different generations here. Telling you, you need to focus. My father been through divorce. He was a single parent. My mother was a single parent. My father fight, court, everything. Dealt with friends, dealt with everything. And you know what? He still found a way to be there for his children because he wanted to. It wasn't hard. It wasn't easy, I should say. It wasn't easy. We put you through plenty of content.
That's all right.
Plenty of content.
That's all
Yeah,
right.
you don't know, right? If you know the amount of headache his children put you through, some of y'all would have shoot y'all children already, right? But the thing is, family, fathers, you can't give up on your children. If you don't know how to reach out to your children, please contact me. I may not know everything, but there are different ways. There are multiple solutions sometimes to one problem. We need to stay diversified in thought so that we can find those solutions and build our family structure strong. When everyone is complaining about why Guyana still got this problem, that problem, why is there corruption, why is there so much stealing, it all comes back down to the family structure. Because if there's not a solid, responsible role model inside the household to teach the child about integrity, to teach the child about honesty, to teach the child about compassion, to teach the child understanding, then that child will grow without those things. And at the same time, the media gonna teach your children them that being an auntie man is okay. They're gonna teach your children them, your girl children them, that dressing outside the way, showing the party cake and the bamsi, that's okay, that's the style. It can teach them that the club is where you'll find happiness. It will teach them that your friends always want the best for you. This is not the case. Ladies and gentlemen, too many parents have released their parental responsibilities and left it in the hand of media and left it in the hand of other people to be the directive course of moral value in your child's life. Look at the current school system. Most parents in Guyana ain't sending their child to school to learn, you know.
Just to get them out of the house.
Just to get them out the house. And that is a horrible thing. Because you are creating monsters by not adequately training your children correctly. And then you are setting them loose upon the world. Do you not realize the danger of that? And the fact that these teachers that we currently have, not all of them are even suitable to be considered teachers. And at the same time now, they got their own family problems at home. Some of them come from broken homes. Some of them are divorced mothers. Some of them are single fathers. Some of them are going through worse torment than you. And then you send your child now to somebody who may already be a broken person. And leave that responsibility and pressure on the school system to what? Morally fix your kid? No. You need to do that shit at home. And if you don't have the proper support For instance, if you're a single mother right now, and you don't have a moral male role model in your children's life, I'm not going to be a husband, I'm not going to be a lover, but I'll be a brother to you. I'll help show you what you can do with your children to keep them busy, to keep them learning. The same thing I do for mine, I'll share it with you. It's free. Knowledge is free. Knowledge is free. But love takes time. Love requires time. How do you pay for love? You pay for it with time.
Mr. Snow.
Go ahead, Mr. Graham.
Mr. Snow.
I see you smiling, Scott. You don't normally smile. Oh, we get the smile in a red shirt. Now, next is the haircut.
Hold on.
You get your haircut this week, man.
Are you admitting publicly that it was not easy to groom to bring you to this day?
Hell no. Of course I'm admitting that. I wasn't perfect.
Ladies and
I
gentlemen,
never said I was perfect.
I am not here to point a finger. It was not easy bringing up Snow and my other two boys and my daughter. Regardless of all the allegations, I was a father who stand there because I'm responsible for them to be in this world. And when they become man and woman and can help themselves, then I pull back a little. But I am so moved sitting on this chair, I don't know how I fall off, when Snow is actually admitting he was not easy to bring up.
Well, you know what?
But I'm
listen,
honored. Don't get me wrong.
We grow up. We get mature. We have our own kids. We have our own families. We start to understand what the hell our parents went through. And those of us with compassion and understanding, and that is where you won, because you taught me compassion and understanding. If you did not teach me compassion and understanding, I would have probably, I don't know what I would have did. You wouldn't be sitting here right now.
I must say, I have 3 sons, 1 daughter that my ex-wife said belonged to me. And yes, whether it belonged to me or not, we didn't have that kind of problem. But I am honored to know what they are doing. One thing I can tell my enemy, don't cross our path. If we are wrong to you, we'll be the first one to make amends. But if you're wrong to us, locking us up, accusing us wrongfully, so help me God, we'll walk after your footsteps. I don't know about Snow. He can be the Jesus. I will be the Moses. The commandment will come in your face. I can promise you that. Because I know I got one life to live. And I want to live it the best way. I'm not interfering with you, don't interfere with me. And as Jesus said, do unto others as you do unto me. That's a commandment I will follow. Your hurt minds, I'm going to hurt yours. Without a discussion. This is no hard feelings. Jesus said it, ladies and gentlemen. And Prophet Muhammad went to war because of the same thing. And the Mahabharat war, same thing. So if God is God, and he so believe in peace, he should have kept Lucifer in heaven instead of cast you out with his angel. So I believe in certain standard. Don't touch me, I won't touch you. Let's unite and make this place a better place. Show respect to each other. It's nothing about black, Indian, white, Chinese, or whatever. We are all human beings. We all make mistakes. Let's unite. Politician, a message for you. Do not use the courthouse to justify your ego and lock up innocent people and cause them to be beaten like some of them.
Try not to go too much on the politicians
all right?
Right now.
And corrupt businessmen. No, I'm saying it clear.
No, I know, I understand.
I have seen a lot of young men die. And we say, why? It's a curse. Trace their mother and father were wrong they have done to other people. So their offspring cannot make it. But they cannot understand. It's a curse. Too many young black men are being killed. Too many young Indians are killing their women and killing themselves. This is not a blessing, it's a curse.
It is.
They live to see their generation falling through while they live and get old and waiting in the corner to ask for a penny or a sandwich. I've seen it from Africa, India, Caribbean, America. So I'm asking all of you, put our differences aside. Let's unite. Let's save this nation. There was a time when I was growing up, my neighbor could have been as black as night, was my auntie. Her husband could be as black as night, was my uncle. An Indian could be the same to the blackest uncle and auntie. What become of those days? Respect. Let's unite. Stop listening to corrupt preachers, politicians, and people who are dividing you. We are the one to blame, not the politician, them.
Okay, great.
All right.
Now let me state something. It's not that people run away all the time because they are trying to avoid their responsibility. So I need people to know that not everyone who walks away because they genuinely want to walk away from responsibility. There are a lot of people that have been broken, psychologically broken by circumstances in life. And before the rest of society breaks down, I would like to reach out to every parent out there who might be thinking negative thoughts or thinking or considering if either suicide or running away is the best answer. Before you do anything so stupid, my number is 622-1957. Send me a message on WhatsApp. Let's talk a little bit. Maybe if some of us who have experienced some real hard trials and tribulations in this life can share some of our experiences and knowledge with you, we can help guide you to a better resolve for the situation you're currently going through.
Something else, no? A priest, which is a priest in the whole, whether he's an imam, a pandit, or whatever, he got a right to hold a ceremony or a congregation in his lecture to unite a family. I know some priests, women and men going to their church, but because of the collection or the contribution, they do not try to unite them when they have a domestic problem. Some maities, some pandits, some priests want to be with the woman, and it causes problems. So my advice to women, if you meet a man, come and tell you what he will do for you, find out if he got a wife or he have children, and started to think, if he cannot take care of what he brings into the world, how he will take care of yours. And if you cause another woman tears to fall on your shoulder, don't blame your child, blame yourself. All right? So in straight talk, you yourself are creating a bigger problem. So if a man comes to you with a fancy car, plenty jewelry around his neck, and then you say, like they say it in America, I don't want to use it, but the conversation is there. Oh my God, that nigga is rich. You're looking for trouble. Find out who is his wife, who's his children. Because when you join him, you will end up having some, and then you throw them on the welfare situation. But in Guyana, is no welfare. It was a young woman, and she grew up, is speak fair. And the other one is farewell. That's all I could tell you. So be careful what y'all are doing. So if a man leave a woman suffering with children and you take him, you are responsible also for that crime. And you want to tell you how? If I buy Snow house and if somebody stole it and sell it to me, I collect stolen property, I'm going to jail. So if you take a man who got children and he got to pay support, the law should make you help pay too. So wake up, fellow Guyanese, women and men alike. And when you men get into a relationship with a woman, if she have children, find out who is the man, who is the husband. If he dead, you have a chance. If he alive, you are not daddy. Daddy is waiting on the arrival. You only the caretaker. You are better than the watchman. All right? That's all I could tell you. I have seen a lot all over the world. But I am taking care of some children in Africa, and others, as you heard story the other night. And yes, he was right.
Some things are verified, other things are not. You need to verify what you're doing.
Due to what is happening. But I believe in the Moses law and Jesus. Do unto others as you like them do unto you. You know, I have seen a lot of things here with Snow. Snow called the police because of what happened in his business. He was arrested instead. He was charged. He appealed the case. But thanks to our security minister, he went to jail for a crime he didn't commit. But we are waiting on it.
You need to say former security minister.
Former security minister, by the way. Sorry, thank you.
And next.
So I'm waiting on the UN and all the embassy to look into this matter.
Next, let me state something. That is an inaccurate statement because up until now, without sitting with the direct proof, I would not accept that statement.
You don't have to.
Listen, no,
but
no.
I swear to the Almighty God, the man told me certain things,
okay,
and I'm holding him accountable.
Listen.
My word is my man. Hold on.
Listen, stop.
When God said let it be light, did he sign a paper let it be light?
Yeah, but Mr. Correia.
Come on, man.
Mr. Correia, this is where the issue comes from, right? There's a difference between.
I take a lie
stop.
detector
No,
test.
stop.
I got to take
Stop.
one.
There's a difference between talking the truth and speaking about the law. The law does not represent the truth. The law represents what they have in front of them. And you might be telling the truth, Mr. Correia, but let me explain to you how the law works. The law has not been built to accommodate truth. The law has been built to accommodate the convenience of particular individuals and their growth. So this is
You're right.
So when you come and you talk truth, and you talk the truth recklessly, believe it or not, this is where I would have a problem, and I would deem your intelligence to not be suitable for today's day and age, because this is not the day and age of truth. This is the day and age of law, and there's a very big difference. Stop. There is a very, very big difference, and you cannot expect the law, Mr. Correia, to be valid when the people that make the law have broken every law that they have already made.
Well, the people
Hold
have
on.
to come together.
Listen, and you cannot expect dynamic change
Overnight.
hold on, from a society that has been mentally enslaved and have found themselves conveniently enjoying the enslavement. How can you tell?
You have these
Stop.
Guyanese and both
Listen,
major race
listen.
and others.
Stop. Mr. Correia, I'm here in Guyana. I'm living here in Guyana. I hear everybody talk the same thing, right? And everyone talks one thing. Guyana needs to get better. Fine. Guyana can get better within a couple of years. But here's the problem. 10 million people go watch. 2 man gonna reach in their pocket and say, I'm willing for help. Make it a reality. The other 9,999,998 people are gonna be watching to see if those 2 get through. When those 2 get through, that's when they're gonna say, hey, you know, I've been with you all the time.
I understand
I'm
they're
there.
hypocrites.
I'm there.
Wolves in sheep's
And
clothing.
that's when they're going to come. But I don't got time for anybody who says Guyana needs to get better.
The young generation
Listen,
are suffering
listen,
because
Mr.
of the old
Correia.
fools.
I have no consideration for anyone who says Guyana needs to get better. But I have full love, admiration, and respect for those who stop talking and get involved in making it a better place.
Anyhow,
Right? This is because, unfortunately, Guyanese, emancipation was a lie. Even arriving was a lie. This thing that we call society, it's a lie. This thing we call law and order in Guyana, it's a lie. All of this is part of a much bigger slave system than most people can even comprehend. And until people can learn the elementary things, they shall never be ready for the technical studies. Very, very few people that might even be watching this stream can understand anything beyond what you see as written politics. And that is because there is a living politics that is happening globally, which is the real politics, not the spin-off stuff the small country and thing like Guyana are facing right now. Guyana isn't even running itself. We got the doctor, he might as well be a doctor. Because at the end of the day, he's still following somebody else's orders. And if you don't believe me, then please explain why one major company can block up and cause issues at the river mouth and destroy our fishing industry overnight without anything being done for our fishermen, who are now frantically trying to get back clean water where fish dwell so they could carry on their livelihood. But that is just one issue that will come back.
What about the cane industry?
Well, the cane industry was poorly managed for many, many years.
You know, to be honest, Bono was a wise man and he do a lot of improvement. He take away the yellow bus. He take away the 3-county train station. He closed down the bauxite company. That is progress. Put them hungry and control them. So they're waiting on handout.
Okay, so you...
All right?
Okay, so here's the whole thing.
That's Bono way of progress.
No, but here's the thing, Mr. Correia.
Mr. Ali is trying. I'm
Stop.
not a friend of the man, but he's trying.
Mr. Correia, I understand a lot of things, and I think some people, there's a lot of people that sometimes listen to what you have to say, and they misinterpret. They misinterpret a lot of what you say. And that is because, one, you're very, very raw. Two, you speak in metaphors all the time and talk in story. And that is a horrible way to speak to the Guyanese population.
No, I agree. First, to begin with, politician must not be leader of union.
Hold on.
Because they control the union. They
Stop.
could do what they like. That's their support base.
Listen. Well, but that's Guyana.
Not only Guyana.
Listen, that is Guyana That is Guyana until we change it. But more importantly, if we had people who were raised with integrity and values, that stuff wouldn't happen. Because the bottom line is, how does corruption happen, Mr. Correia? You need somebody to be willing to be complicit in the whole situation, right? So if people were raised with proper morals and values, right, then there would be less of a chance that corruption would be happening. Look, I'm out there. I could be broke today. The first thing on my mind isn't, man, how I can go and get a bag? No. It's, you know what? I catered for today because I put up something yesterday. Why? Because my parents growing up teach me that you can't live just for today. You got to live for tomorrow and the next day. Most of the children that we have growing up these days, they don't see a future. They don't see themselves living past 30, especially if they're in certain situations. They don't see that. If you're growing up in the ghetto, you very seldom see past next week. So, and a lot of the single-parent households and broken families are normally within the ghetto, as everybody claims, or within lower class or impoverished areas. These are the areas that we definitely need more family structure, more parental values, more investment into activities to keep our children busy, to keep them mentally occupied, learning, right, and provide, okay, a safe environment for them to grow. But if we don't got proper police, we got drugs in the neighborhood. You know, a lot of people, you hear them complaining, there's drugs in our neighborhood. You know why there's drugs in your neighborhood? Because all of the neighbors in that neighborhood refuse to hold one head and go and murder the drug dealers, right? But if the drug dealers in your area knew that all of you would get together and go and hang them, they wouldn't come into your area. It's just so simple.
Hanging them mean many things. Not physically killing them.
I mean physically kill them. Let me tell you what. Somebody come into my area selling drugs to my child. What are they really doing to my child?
They're killing your child.
They're not just killing my child, they're killing my child's future. So if I hold them and I murder them, I shouldn't be held accountable for that. But at the same time, a man can go and shoot your family
because you want to use his drugs.
The man can come in your house, rob you, beat you, kill you. But if you defend yourself inside your own house, you can go to prison and you got to pay heed because you should not have touched him when he came into your house to rob you and kill you. You were supposed to let him.
That's the thing that happened the other day.
So this is a serious thing. Look, when I had my business there, a man come into my place, disorderly contact, drinking up, threaten I'm gonna stop, do everything, get into a fight with another customer. I call the police. When the police come, the man turn around, tell the police IBT, and the police in he hold one head and say, Mr. Snow, we want $1 million. Because I wouldn't give them $1 million.
But your wife work at the court.
Stop. Yeah, well, all of that we can get into later. But at the same time, if those police now were raised as men with proper moral values, this could have never happened. That would have never happened. So, where you are just still talking about the problem at hand, I am looking at the catalyst of the problem. I am looking at preventing the birth of a sin before the sin even comes to pass. I don't want to deal with fixing problem every day, because the amount of headache we got in this country, you will never stop fixing problem. So what you have to do is you have to go from before the problem, and you need to fix that.
I heard a story in the market the other day. A man told me a Rasta man get 3 years for smoking marijuana, but a man alleged murder his wife and he get 3 years. So it looked like killing somebody, you're better off than smoking a marijuana. These people ain't got to know what they are doing.
There's too much favoritism, there's too much corruption in the system.
Mr. Ali, as President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, I do hope he could shine light into that, being a young man, and try to pull this country together.
Okay, question.
Right?
Since you bring up Mr. Ali, right? What are your thoughts on how he's managing the country at this moment? Please keep it very brief.
Well, I'll be honest. If I'm a pilot flying a plane and my co-pilot is telling me what to do, then the co-pilot might as well take over.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
Because I am not the captain.
Okay.
You cannot be captain of Titanic, but the engineer telling you what to do. He can tell you about the engine, not how to pilot the plane, yourself.
Okay.
All right?
Okay, so, all right, so that's very brief and I think very, very to the point. And once again, you spoke in a story, and I don't know how many people are going to really, really catch the story. So once again, this is assuming that many people who watch this have the intelligence to pick between the metaphor, right? And that being the case, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to thank you guys very much. Would you like to say your...
First, fellow Guyanese,
Exit.
be united. And let's put Guyana forward that it used to be before these corrupt politicians in the past and maybe in the present destroy this land. All we have left is our legacy and our children to carry the torch. Let's give them the right things to do it. With your help and our help and God on our side, we can do miracle and change this racial tension and put Guyana forward. If the president doing good, support him. If he's wrong, then we're going to oppose him. And before I go, if you are a minister in government, a preacher, a lawyer, a doctor, and you are not ready for criticism, you are not ready to be in the job.
Right.
All right? Have a good day, and may God be with all of you.
Okay. Let me just add one thing before we exit. I know that some people think that it's the government's job to make life better.
Government is not babysitting.
But exactly. But the people have a responsibility to themselves. And I think somewhere down the line, due to Guyana's political system, leaders have somehow confused our population into thinking that they are something other than just government. And this is something that's very important for persons to know, that even though the government has a responsibility to society, all of us that live in society have an equal amount of responsibility toward ensuring that our society is the type of society that we want.
Pay the police a good salary. Pay the doctors, the teachers, and all civil servants a good salary. Give them opportunity, because while the president is having party and the ministers drinking champagne, these men and women stand up in the rain and the sun to protect this land. Some people don't respect the law. The police cannot be respected by members of certain political force because telephone call and minister set them free. The doctors is not also accepted in certain area. So treat the civil servant with respect, because the ministers in government is also civil servants. And if they can get high standard living, duty-free this, duty-free that, and if they resign, they get good benefit, while the police, the soldiers, the postmen, the teachers, and all civil servants cannot be given the same mandate.
Well,
I want to know that.
Okay, well, I'll tell you, it's real simple. You keep them hungry, and you keep control of them. And that is unfortunately the type of system that we have been living in. a system that keeps the population hungry and starving,
No.
so that the population is willing to listen to what they have to say and follow their rules. I think that's a very unfair practice, but we're going to leave it there for now, and we'll pick up on this on another discussion.
So ladies and gentlemen, thank you
Take
for
care.
listening. Nothing personal. Let's show love, show mercy, stop the racial nonsense, and be unite under the sky. Have a
By the
good
way,
day.
you look good in red. All right,
Oh,
bye-bye.
Jesus Christ.
He probably would look good in red too. He was a red man. Just playing.